I believe in all that has never yet been spoken. I want to free what waits within me, so that what no one has dared to wish for may for once spring clear without my contriving. If this is arrogant, God, forgive me, but this is what I need to say. May what I do flow from me like a river, no forcing and no holding back, the way it is with children. I will sing you as no one ever has, streaming through widening channels into the open sea. With this, I take the opportunity to welcome you all to the first TGES Performance Poetry Night. I request everyone to please switch off their mobile phones or put them on vibrating mode.
Poetry is thoughts that breathe and words that burn. We wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the poets who have inspired us to think, understand, and emulate their works. Today it is not just a tribute to them, but it is also an effort to resonate their thought-provoking ideas to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our first performer, Swara Oza, who will present before us a poem, beginning, middle, end, by Phil K., describing the fact that all of us present here are stories. Stories who walk, talk, sleep, eat, and hold the power to write another human story. Swara?
Every great story has a beginning, middle, and end. Not necessarily in that order. We are all great stories. Chapter 389. The boy, hair still long, fingers still too short, is 98 years old. He sits at a restaurant alone. The stranger next to him is eating something that looks vaguely delicious, so the boy takes his fork, sticks it in his meal, and takes a bite. He says, "I am 98 years old. Go ahead, say something, moron." Chapter 14. The boy is 8 years old. He and his best friend come up with a great idea for a prank. They're sure they'll not get caught. The next morning, every house on the street, except his own, has toilet paper in the front yard. They get caught. Chapter 146. And the boy and the girl live happily ever after. Chapter 231. And the boy and the girl vow never to speak to each other again. Every great story has a beginning, middle, and end, not necessarily in that order. We are all great stories, but not all written as chapter books. I know that there are moments not meant to be bound, that we scribble too much in the margins just to read our own page numbers. Like the night you thought you were invincible, ran out into the lightning storm with a million keys tied to a million kites, and you clenched in your jaw that said, "Take me with you, goddammit, I dare you." And the week you finally reached out to feel your father's cheeks and just found paper cuts. I know the nights we shatter our glasses to fall asleep. The afternoons we take photographs of our own shadows just to prove that we left a mark. I know the wetness of your lips. I know that you are the leaf of the tree of your parents' first kiss. And if you hold your shops to the sky, you can see their veins there. I know that in later chapters you'll complain about how things were better back in your day. Give yourself lots to complain about. And know that your legs were made to run and your bones were made to heal. So let yourself fall so deeply into somebody else that you don't know which way is up, knowing that one day you may fall out. Know exactly which way is down. Call your mother crying as the first day you were born. "Baby," she'll call you. "Baby, it's okay." Every great story has a beginning, middle, and ending, not necessarily in that order. Chapter 189. The boy, too old now to celebrate his birthdays, and too young to treasure them, uses his fists, punches his own reflection to see if it's real, breaks his hand into the opposite of a fist, a conch shell of sinew. He holds it to his ear and can hear the ocean of his own bloodline. Stand up, boy. Not just with your legs. You be your own story. 600 words per minute. You, glasses by 8'7". You never stop to read the back cover, even though you know what happens in the end. Chapter 431. Once upon a time, there was a boy. He's not here anymore, but the branches he left all hold their leaves to the sky, and you can see the outline of his shadow on the sidewalk. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, there was a woman and a man, and the first night they kissed, a seedling blossomed from the back of her neck.
Thank you, Swara. Thank you, Swara.
The irony of feeling lonely is that we all feel it together. Phil K's spoken word, Dear Santa, being presented before you by Kinnari Kamani, talks about finding a common ground in a place least expected and people that have a lot more to them than what meets the eye. Kinnari.
I had heard a lot about Santa Claus. This was a man who knew when you're sleeping, when you're awake, whether you've been bad or good, so he doesn't just overlook you by mistake. One year after Santa had decided to visit every single one of my friends, except for me, again, I decided to write the man a letter. Dear Santa, I could not help but notice that you visited every single one of my friends, except for me. Again, that's cool, kind of, not really. I could only imagine that you think I've been a bad boy. So I'd like to clarify some doubts over the past year. 1. Halloween candy. I know I was allowed to eat only 2 pieces of candy per day. And there was that one day when I ate 12 Starbursts. But those 12 Starbursts were in one pack, so could technically be considered 1 piece of candy. 2. Valentine's Day. When I wrote Valentine's for the entire class, I did not mean to forget one for Alexandra Sampson. I think she's pretty and nice, but that is a different story. 3. The sleepover. I did not mean to be in my pajamas. I think all of us wish that could have turned out differently. After reviewing these facts, I hope you reconsider my status as a bad boy. 1 week passes. Santa doesn't say anything. I cry a lot. And my parents explained it to me that Santa is part of Christmas. And because we're Jewish, we don't really celebrate Christmas. We observe Christmas. So, Santa hates me because I'm Jewish? It's around this time that my parents decide to send me to Jewish camp. I do not want to go to Jewish camp. As a kid, I'm not good at making new friends. Too quiet, too whatever you want to do, to whoever you want me to be. I walk into Jewish camp to a room full of people that do not look like me. Ben, who has freckles and does not like Power Rangers. Mallory, who has bushy eyebrows and has never eaten bacon. Garrett, who has big frizzy hair, listens to songs my mom does not let me listen to. I imagine myself a zebra standing in the corner where all the people are cooing over the puppies and the kittens. I stand there silently until they notice me. What is that? At lunchtime, Our counselor tells that she will sing the Hamotzi, the Jewish prayer over the bread. I stand up tall, think to myself, I know this, and I start to sing loud. But as I look around, for the first time in my life, I'm not the only young boy who's singing along. I walked into Jewish camp to a room full of people that did not look like me, but knew my strange songs, my strange life. Ben, who had freckles, knew all four sides of a dreidel. Mallory, who had bushy eyebrows and could say the four questions. And Garrett, whose mom was from Japan, like mine, and asked me to sit at his table at lunchtime. We sang loud, a stable full of zebras, not knowing exactly what the Hebrew words meant, but knowing somehow we were saying thank you.
Thank you, Kinnari. Thank you, Kinnari.
We have with us Krutali Jadhav and Palak Babaria, who will present before us The Key by Ali, a story of a young woman with depression who realized that the walls she built to protect herself were only harming her. The following isn't really about society or stigma or many people's misguided notions about what mental illness infers. Krutali and Palak.
Depression is lying. It's me telling you that I'm fine, when inside, I'm dying. Faking a laugh just to keep from crying. Rest assured, this inability to move is not due to lack of trying. I try to explain, but my words are denying.
Happiness is a choice. You're not trying hard enough. Cheer up, girl. You have nothing to be depressed about.
No one would choose this. I've been fighting for 5 years, and I wish it were that easy. And I know that's the problem. You don't see the demons, or hear the lies, or feel the weight that's crushing me inside, because I hide.
Say, when did our society decide to ignore this disease of the mind? When did our default become believing the I'm fine? When will we open our eyes and cease being blind to the life behind the mask and the hurt behind the laugh? Maybe the problem isn't you, just maybe it is me.
Which is why I've decided to tell you what's real. I'm hurting, I'm struggling, sometimes I'm suffocating. Maybe I feel alone because I've decided not to let you in. Maybe you have approached my door. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. And I just haven't opened. And maybe everything would change if I just showed you my door's key. I'm trapped in my own room, which though once filled with life and light, is now darker than the cell of prisoner. And I'm not. I can't look ahead, so I turn to behind, to the past. But there, everything was a mistake. Every choice I make, every chance I take was wrong, is wrong. Regrets. Never-ending streams of regrets flowing faster than the water rushing down my face as I shower, trying to erase the inadequacy with dirt, hoping the sound will drown out and replace the whispers that embrace, surround, and suffocate me. But only the dirt washes away, and the shame doesn't.
I'm hurting, I'm struggling, sometimes I'm suffocating. Maybe I feel alone because I've built walls so high you cannot get in. Maybe you have knocked. Knock, 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 knock. But I choose not to open. I was the one ignoring you, not you, me. And I'm hoping everything would change and I could make that change by revealing my door's key.
Thank you, Krutali and Palak.
We have Naman Manik presenting before us Dear Future Generations by Prince E.A. A profound apology to the future generations for the alarming rates of deforestation and the reckless destruction of our environment for which we are all responsible. Naman.
Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, sorry. Sorry we left you our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. For example, I'm guessing you probably know what is Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest. And there were billions of trees there and all of them gorgeous. Oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you that trees are amazing. And I mean, we literally breathe the air they are creating, and they clean up our pollution, our carbon, store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us. Which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific. At a rate of 40 football fields every minute, that's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Which brings me great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. I'm sorry that we put profit over people, greed over need, the rule of gold about the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as credit card with no spending limit. Sorry we pollute the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, because we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey, Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestle, their homes literally washed away beneath your feet due to the rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuel well. I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. You see, you can ignore this. But the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So, I'm sorry, future generation. I'm sorry we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you. And I'm sorry we didn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it. An error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest. If a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it. They look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root. And not to the branches of government, not to the politician-run corporations. We are the root. We are the foundation, this generation. It is up to us to take care of this planet, our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature. We are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us. Because whatever you are fighting for, racism, feminism, poverty, minority rights, or any types of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we all will be equally extinct. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Naman.
While most of us here right now are scrolling or updating our Instagram feed, maybe trying to capture this moment into a few taps, Ayushi Mehta brings before us Instagram by Simar Singh, the reality of this room and the world. Ayushi?
The longer you are on Instagram, the longer they are keeping you away from the real world and its real problems. I realized this only after weeks after I uninstalled this app. That took nearly half of my day staring at stories that had no beginning, middle, or end. I had stayed up at nights and watched videos of cats and dogs and breakups over text and Instagram celebrities lip singing to songs and dialogues and anything at all. I had watched videos of smooth things being cut by a knife to satisfy myself, while the books I bought last week still lay on the shelf that had dust on it. I ate my food as my Instagram ate me. Even on the dinner table, my eyes only maintained eye contact with the people on my screen, while my family screamed for their son's attention, while I begged for extension of more phone time on the dinner table. It's been ages since I actually read an actual newspaper. When I wasn't consumed by the visual content on the internet, but by a playground that kept me content for hours. That kept me content for hours. I had stared at flowers and even watched half an hour of Looney Tunes because we only had 30 minutes of TV time every day. But that is not the case today in any way. When we carry TV screens and computers in our pockets, we have turned lock screens from lockets to save the picture of our loved ones. It's been so long since I actually looked at the sun and said, "This is so beautiful and wholesome." There were times when we weren't scared of boredom, but now we are scared to death, and yet we are so scared to be alone in this world of swipe-ups. With every post, we try to find someone like us, with whom we can complain about procrastination and keep ourselves even further away from innovation that might actually change the world. But we are too busy changing our Instagram feed, following the trend, becoming a part of the creed that does not even know we exist. So we can keep on smiling and posing and posting and putting up stories at tryst, while my tryst with destiny is liking all the memes that my friend is sending me, while my neck is now a bending tree that my phone is controlling. But I am so busy scrolling and hoping for better friends and better hobbies and better things to do and better bodies that are more aesthetic and Instagrammable, to prove to the world that man is a social animal. Emphasis here is on the word animal and not social. We were given this virtual world, but without any caution that we won't be able to find our way out of this labyrinth. Unlock our phones to lock ourselves in it with our fingerprint. I fear that our Instagram IDs are the cages that they have built for our futures to be locked inside. So we try to hide every tragedy with vanity. We keep sharpening our pictures but blurring out the reality of who we really are when the filters are taken out, when the camera is shot and we face self-doubt. Despite having 200,000 followers, when our low self-esteem swallows us, who are we then? Who are we then?
We share relatable memes.
We share relatable memes and say 10 out of 10 me. And our friends send us thumbs up to agree. So we keep ourselves from blinking, so we can stare for longer and make ourselves stronger to more screen time. You open this app around 6ish and look, it's already 9. But there are so many more videos you want to watch and so many more posts that you want to like. There were so many more things you wanted to be as a child. And there are so many more poems that you are yet to write. So uninstall Instagram and actually look at the faces on the dinner table. And actually look at the faces on the dinner table and write a poem. Write a poem about everything that you know and everything that you have learned. Turn yourself away from Instagram. It's time to face the real world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushi. Megha Rank, with her performance, will attempt to convey a message to all men and women that Lord has made us all equal, special, and awesome. Let us welcome her with Who You Are Awesome by John Jorgensen. Megha.
Who you are, you're awesome. First, to all the women in the world, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're unique, you're kind, you're worthy of love and affection. You're never too much and you're always enough. You're precious, you're a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creation. You're beautiful, you're worth more than you can ever imagine, worth more than the numbers on the scale or the hair products you use or the shoes you wear, more than half many girls wish they were you or half many guys wish they had you, more than the price tags on your clothes or the percentage at the top of your math test or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved and you're worth dying. Regardless of who you think you are, whether you model in a magazine or you model pottery with grandma, whether you're on the hot list or the not list, whether you are a head cheerleader or a high school dropout, whether you are Miss Popular or you never had any friend you could call a friend, whether you love yourself and love your life or you can't stand to look in the mirror and you feel as if everything in your life is falling apart, whether you are such a winner or you feel like the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you think you are, the reality is that you deserve someone who would give up their life for you because you are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible: Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever. And inside of you, inside each and every one of you is a woman with that same power, with that same strength and that same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and set that woman free. And any voices inside your mind that try and tell you differently are from the enemy. And the next time you hear them, this is what you say: Not me, Satan. I'm a daughter of the living God, cherished, loved, adored above all things by the Creator of the all things, for the glory of Him who is greater than all things. I am awesome. And please
SNK.
When we have nowhere to go to, nobody to go to, a divine power keeps us going, loves us, and motivates us to give our best. His Greatest Love by Kopanu Simanu, Natua Holmes, and Chris Taito, presented before us by Prisha Maru, Rushali Moteria, and Yatri Joshi, gives us all the eternal hope of God's love. Prisha, Rushali, Yatri.
Imagine a love so big no walls could contain. A love so beautiful no vessel on this earth could frame.
A house where every one day was an opportunity for him to operate and to me into a beautiful,
A majestic
a glorious
symphony where when his love speaks, my heart beats. And when his love speaks, my heart beats. And when his love speaks, my heart beats. A beautiful, a majestic,
a glorious
symphony.
Beautiful melodies make one's running back without a melody. Spirit lights off, even older to you couldn't help me. I mean, I subscribed to channels that were contrary. Looking and going through the lens of lust and hosting, took on every sentence with cusses, and I bought and saw what the world perceived was. I mean, I was just learning how to be
A man, knowing God's love was so vast, I struggled to grasp a hold of his handles. It was too much to handle. When I tried to hold it, my hands would slip on its grip, and my palms will drip and saturated with my sins and affliction. It just has me in questions, like how could the purest of love that only comes from him could ever fall for me in the purest of sin?
not when I'm still doing more wrong than right, not when I'm still losing in spirit flesh fight.
It didn't make any sense for him to love such a sight. One that lays built out on her being truthful, crying out, God, I won't do that anymore. Yet, the very next day, broke their promise behind the closed doors. Love for me was something like a contest where beauty and brains that prepare you for the fast lane of the superficial love game, where you probably never get a stare until you straighten your hair, where you probably never get a text back.
Unless you had to have it.
And so I was never found or seen without wearing my favorite black skinny jeans, cause I just wanted to qualify for love, and I just wanted to be enough. So I thought it to be cool and wise to try and find what the other girls saw in the other guy. So I put on my woman eyes and began to see what lies in the groomy, and something people might despise. The groomy is something that I should try aside, that the values that I had, I should put them aside.
Because in past, real guys do finish last.
But I wanted to last. See if it was a contest where the nicest guys are running away from the arms of rejection, trying to find comfort in other people's selection. So the point of my projection was attention. Can I have your attention, please? Cause I just wanted people's attention. Attention. Can I have your attention, please? Cause I just wanted to qualify for love, and I just wanted to be. I was just tired of being in the torment of living behind the closed doors. I was always
died for me. Even though my heart was repeated and my sin was repetitive, He died for me.
Even though I rejected His face and tried to look for love in the wrong place,
He died for me.
Yes, He died for me. And even though I considered myself almost equal, I am His greatest love. Not because of who I am, but because He loves me. Despite my unfaithfulness sequels,
His love, hell knows no equal. You see, I never had to be anything else for Him to love me. And with Him, no sin I was in was above His love.
and with Him, regardless of who I would be, He would still be in pursuit of me.
You see, God has a love you never have to work for. And God has a love that always seeks to restore.
And God has a love that for you He died for.
Because God is love.
Or as high as the heavens are from the earth, so it is His love for you.
It is as far as the east is from west. So far has He removed your sins from you. Because I'm convinced that in life, no this. In prison, no future. No height, no depth. Nothing in all of creation to separate us from the love of God. Praise Him.
For He seeked and saved the lost.
Praise Him. Because He took our sins to the cross. Jesus, you are worthy to be praised. Jesus.
You overcome to the grave,
Jesus.
because only your love remains.
Yes, if the question was, then Jesus loves you. And if the question was, then yes, Jesus loves you.
Thank you, Prisha, Roshali, and Yatri.
Where the world is full of women of all shapes and sizes and figures, why is it that only people who are slim and thin are respected and valued? Is being fat a crime? A fat joke by Rachel Wiley, presented before us by Rinki Lotia. Rinki.
A fat joke. The old joke goes, a patient walks into a doctor's office and complains, "Doctor, my arm really hurts when I move it like this. And so what should I do?" And the doctor says, "So please don't move your arm like that." A fat girl walks into a doctor's office and complains, "Doctor, my arm really hurts when I move it like this. And so what should I do?" And the doctor says, "Have you considered the weight loss surgery?" A fat girl walks into a doctor's office to get a flu shot but is instead told about her BMI. A fat girl walks into a doctor's office with an earache but is instead asked that had she in her life ever eaten a salad. A fat girl walks into a doctor's office with a spider bite on her hand and the doctor tells her how low her blood pressure was. So low for such a fat person that the doctor himself checks it thrice before finally believing it, totally forgetting about the big purple bruise on her hand, right there full of spider venom that had brought her there in the very first place. A fat girl walks into a doctor's office to get prescribed some antidepressants, but is instead prescribed some exercises. Yes, definitely, because her depression was the result of her fat, and fat bodies never exercise and remain fat. The fat girl gets tired of constantly being diagnosed as fat, 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 and she therefore stops going to the doctor's office and instead walks in the world with a ray of hope that the world will understand her. The world will let her breathe freely. Little did she know that the world was far worse than the doctors. Oh, you don't go to the gym, right? Do you? You don't do yoga, do you? No, I mean, have you ever considered going to a nutritionist? Look at me. Even I'm a mother of two, but you see how young do I look? You must be wearing a double or a triple XL, right? Oh, she's your daughter. Look the way she resembles will be suffering from diabetes, thyroid, arthritis, memory loss, stress, trauma, depression, hypertension, and maybe even cancer at a later stage. Little did they know that she already had thyroid and she was highly mentally depressed, tired and exhausted of wearing that fake mask full of fake smile in front of that world which never stood by her side when her husband was beating her to death, when she was mentally, emotionally, physically tortured and brought to the brim of committing suicide. Where was that world when she was being treated worse than a servant, when she was served all the starchy and fatty and unhealthy food, deprived of all the nutrition, despite the fact that she was a nursing mother? Why didn't the thought of her and her daughter's health cross anybody's minds then? She endured it. No, she did endure it till she could. She endured it till it was in her capacity, in her limits to endure. She endured it till she finally broke down. And then it was her body that took on all the hardships of the society. From a girl, she turned into a fat girl. The fat girl still somehow walks in the society and very somehow manages to love her fat body. But the world says, stop glorifying obesity. The fat girl still walks into the world and tells the world in its face, I do not owe you shrinking. I do not owe you thinness, attempted or acquired or desired thinness. For you people think thinness equals health. And for that matter, I do not owe you health. I do not owe you health at all. I am deserving of basic respect. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of care. I deserve to live my life on my terms. I deserve to exist the way I do. And the world says, oh, come on, that's the best joke we've heard all day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rinki. यारा तेरी यारी को मैंने तो खुदा माना, याद करेगी दुनिया तेरा मेरा अफसाना. With keeping this song in our hearts, we present before you Aditi Kothari with a self-composed poem, Yari, reviving our trust in the purest relationship on this earth, friendship. Aditi.
जिंदगी में बहुत गलतियाँ की हैं मैंने, कितनी बार सच्चाई से भागी हूँ तो कितनों का दिल दुखाया है. कभी कहीं से दूर चली गई और कभी सिमट के छुप गई. ऐसी ही थी मैं जब तक वो नहीं आई मेरी जिंदगी में. चलो तो आज एक कहानी सुनाती हूँ जिसकी वजह से खड़ी हूँ मैं. कुछ गलतियाँ ही कर रही थी और दोस्त सिर्फ नाम के ही थे तभी. एक दिन वो आकर बोली, मदद चाहिए तुम्हारी. और मैंने ना उसे कभी डरे हुए देखा था ना मदद मांगते. बोली एक दोस्त की ज़रूरत है और मुझे लगा नहीं था कि वो भी अकेली हो सकती है. दोस्त तो मेरे भी कोई खास थे नहीं और बस स्कूल की रिसेस से शुरू हुई दोस्ती हमारी. कुछ बात करने के लिए था नहीं पर फिर भी कुछ ढूंढ ही लेते थे. देखते देखते दिन हफ्तों में बदले और हफ्ते महीनों में. 2 साल हो गए थे हमारी दोस्ती को और मेरी जिंदगी का क्लाइमैक्स आ गया. चीज़ें और हालात कुछ ऐसे बिगड़े कि जब सालों बाद जिंदगी को मुझ पे भरोसा आया, मेरा विश्वास खुद से ही उठ गया. महीने हो गए थे इस बात को और मैंने बोलना छोड़ दिया. आज भी याद है वो दिन जब पहली बार उसका हौसला टूटते देखा. वो मेरी वजह से रो रही थी और ऐसा दर्द आज तक नहीं हुआ. उसने मुझे लोगों पे भरोसा करना सिखाया. जहाँ चलना नहीं आता था वहाँ दौड़ना सिखाया और समी पे लाके खड़ा कर दिया जहाँ सिर्फ आसमान में रहना आता था। वादों से डर लगता है मुझे, पता है लोग निभा नहीं पाते उनको, पर एक वादा मैंने भी उसको किया, कहा साथ रहेंगे हम हमेशा। अब आपको पता लग ही गया होगा आगे क्या हुआ। आज जब महीनों तक एक दूसरे का चेहरा नहीं देख पाते, अंदर से एक ही आवाज़ आती है, बड़े हो गए हम। हाथ तो बहुत जोर से पकड़ा था उसका, लेकिन सपनों ने अलग कर दिया और सबने कहा छोड़ दो ये बचपना। कैसे बताऊं इन लोगों को, इसी बचपने ने तो पैर दिए चलने के लिए। कैसे बताऊं इन लोगों को, इसी बचपने ने तो पंख दिए उड़ने के लिए। और कैसे बताऊं इन लोगों को, इसी बचपने ने तो सपने दिए पूरे करने के लिए। किसी ने सही ही कहा है, जिन लोगों की तुम्हें ज़रूरत होती है वो तुम्हारी ज़िंदगी में आ ही जाते हैं। हमारी कहानी भी कुछ ऐसी ही है। बात बात पे रोकर हंसना सिखाया उसने, दोस्त है मगर जीना सिखाया उसने, ज़िंदगी है और चलना सिखाया उसने। हमारी दोस्ती अलग नहीं है पर जान से प्यारी है मुझे, उसे भरोसा है मुझ में, कहती है तेरे सारे सपने पूरे होंगे। वो रही मेरे पास जब मैं हार गई थी खुद का साथ, और आज जब अपने सपने पूरे कर रही हूँ, ढूंढ रही हूँ मैं उसका हाथ। पता है वो है यहीं कहीं आस पास, मगर देख पाती वो आज मुझे काश। पता है वो है यहीं कहीं आस पास, मगर देख पाती वो आज मुझे काश। वादा करना है पूरा, ना छोड़ूंगी मैं तेरा साथ, जिसकी वजह से खड़ी हूँ मैं आज। दुआ है मेरी उसको हो मुझ पे नाज, बात बात पे रोकर हंसना सिखाया जिसने, दोस्त है मगर जीना सिखाया जिसने, जिंदगी है और चलना सिखाया जिसने। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Aditi.
Bullying is a common practice when it comes to peer groups. Often the victims of bullying go through emotional trauma and suppress their feelings. We have with us Ananya Vaidya with her self-composed poem, who will share the grief of a bullied victim. Ananya.
Every single day it increases. You tease me and I cry. You pull my hair and I cry. You push me and I cry. You hit me and I cry. Now you laugh. But if I kill myself, will you cry? Why don't you understand that you and I are the same? Versions of a single dish called humanity. That when you hit me, you are hitting yourself. That every single day that you laugh, you're also watching a version of yourself cry. A version of you that you thankfully never became, because it's the same place from where you and I came. It's just different memories we have built. Aren't you already filled with guilt? For these memories have corroded me. The scars you give me increases with time, and yet as the time passes day by day, the scars are there to stay. But they are not visible to you or all of my other versions, called by different names in different languages, standing there watching me with the same eyes, which are blinded by the darkness that surrounds all of you. Because the scars have kept adding on and on and on. And yet, why can't you see what you have done to me? But I can see the me inside of you, the quality of being human that existed in you and I. But I don't understand, how do I save the both of us? Because if I die, it will not be suicide but unnamed murder. But I can still see, and I don't want to die or kill your human self, because you and I are the same. But the light is fading away, and the darkness which surrounded you is seeping in, and I can no longer see anything. The differences or the similarities have blurred and suddenly disappeared. And yet we are the same. I, a ghost created on losing humanity, and you, a ghost haunting on my humanity. Now we are no longer the same. Both of us, you and I, no longer human. But I cannot say, save me, for there is no one I can see, or nothing I can hear. Only maddening, hollowed laughter surrounding me in a line. So I just say to my inaudible self that I'm fine. You all heard the story of a girl. You may have cried for me, and I have cried for all of us. But we have to understand that the people we cry for don't understand our pain at all. So why do we continue to be weak? Why? Why should we? Tell me why. So I swear on my boiling cold blood that I won't let anyone drown in this mud. So I dare you, because now, if you tease me, you will lose your tongue. If you pull my hair, you will have no head. If you even glance at me, I will skewer your eyes out. If you push me, I will tear you apart, and if you even touch me, I will put a bullet through your head. So I dare you, not only for me, but for anyone. I dare you. Now, I demand all of you of only one thing. Stand up, because these monsters don't understand words, so stand up. Rise for me, for you, for us, because you and I are the same.
थैंक यू अनन्या। इतिहास से चलता आ रहा ये भेदभाव है, इतिहास से चलता आ रहा ये भेदभाव है, हिंदू मुस्लिम में दूरियों का अफसाना है। We as humans fail to understand that humanity exists before religion. Hence, Atmaja Dangar brings before us Ali by Darshan Raj Purohit, yet another piece of striving towards brotherhood between a Hindu and a Muslim. Atmaja?
अली मेरा दोस्त, मेरा भाई, लेकिन ना जाने क्यों हमें साथ देख दुनिया की आंखें खटकती थी। हमारी यारी देख उनकी नफरतें हम पे अटकती थी। मैंने अली के घर की सेवैयाँ खाई है, दिवाली की मिठाइयाँ मैंने उसे भी खिलाई है। हर अवसर पे उसके घर से बधाई आई है, मेरी तकलीफ़ें उसे सुनाई है। मैंने उसे मेरी पूजा सिखाई है, उसने भी मुझे अपनी नमाज पढ़ाई है। दिवाली पे उसने फुलझरिया जलाई है, रमज़ान के महीने में मैंने अपने घर की खिड़कियों में लाइटें लगाई है। क्यों तुम्हारा ब्रह्मांड मेरे लिए ज़रूरी है? क्यों मैं अपने हिसाब से जी नहीं सकता? क्यों वो मेरे घर का खा नहीं सकता? क्यों मैं उसका झूठा पी नहीं सकता? मैं हाजी अली गया हूँ, वो बाबुल नाथ भी आया है। अरे इफ्तार का खाना हमने साथ में खाया है। हिंदू मुस्लिम एक नहीं हो सकते, हिंदू मुस्लिम एक नहीं हो सकते, ये कौन कह गया तुझे? यार वो कौन सा परिंदा था, तुझे क्या पता? राम रहीम जिगरी दोस्त रहे होंगे, अरे तू क्या तब जिंदा था? मैंने अली के घर की शादियों में मज़ा खान पान का लिया है, और उसने मेरे घर की शादियों में कन्यादान किया है। क्यों ये भाईचारा देख के तंग होते हो? क्यों तिलक और टोपी का मिलन देख के दंग होते हो? गीता और कुरान में कहाँ कुछ अलग बताया है? दोनों ने सिर्फ और सिर्फ अमन बताया है। और यदि इस पर भी आपत्ति है तेरी, तो खुली चुनौती है मेरी, बता किस आयत या श्लोक में है ये बात बताई कि मुसलमान मेरा दोस्त नहीं हो सकता और हिंदू उसका भाई। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Atmaja.
Mahatma Gandhi rightly said, of all the superstitions that affect India, none is so great as that knowledge of the English language is necessary for imbibing ideas of liberty and developing accuracy to thought. Translated Disney, a composition by Diksha Bajlani being presented before you by Savani, is a composition of how the English language in India is a status symbol. Savani.
So I grew up watching translated Disney. In translated Disney, the Hannah Montana movies had an Indian theme song. So we never really heard Miley Cyrus singing. We just saw her glued to the backdrop of our ironical translation of Best of Both Worlds, without even knowing that another version of it even existed. And in the High School Musical movie, it was like a social experiment where we knew all the tunes without knowing any of the original lyrics. And when they aired the Harry Potter movies, they'd go a step ahead and change the names of the characters. Like Moaning Martel became Mayus Meena. And for the first time, I realized identities could be lost in translation. The first time I saw Lizzie McGuire in English, lip sync perfectly like the taste of cheese on cherry wine tongue, I felt like I know the different character all along. Maybe that's how you'd feel if I shed foreign syllables from my mouth like spaghetti and slip it into the nightgown of my mother tongue today. My mother does not understand English. My mother does not understand English. And frankly, there is no other language I'm competent enough to write poetry in. At McDonald's, her mind is a probable Kim Possible silently asking me to place her order because she won't fumble with extra large if she never talks right. She knows. My mother is not a mother. She is the Phineas and Ferb of our family, the genius of two combined in one, the smartest woman I know until she is put through translation. And then she is every Facebook comment that is put through my literary council. Her longest comment till now is God bless you, God bless you. She knows the face. She knows the English names of all my achievements because haven't they always come from proving the fact that I know my second language better than I know my first. A rancid murmur in my ear says, we'll call you a poet. We'll call you a poet, not a traitor. I'm a descendant of a family of multilingual folk who are synonymous to non-English speaking. They sent me to an English school so that I could be better than them. Because English in India is status. English in India is, look, I have a verbal Mercedes. English in India is sucking up to colonialists because forgetting that they left a long time ago. The first time I dated a white guy, I would let the words from my native language slip into our conversations out of reflex, and he would dismiss them as typos. What a beginning for a classically conditioned beginning, fear of love and words. I've seen my accent curl up in front of people who own this language. Every her becomes her. Every thank you becomes thank you. This is not conformity, this is surrender, how I cannot write this poem in any other language but English so that you could understand it. Is this burden of proof or already found guilty? Somewhere out there is a generation of millennials debating on which language to call their first when they haven't spoken their second in years. They say, we feel things in the language we speak, think in the language we speak. Maybe my feelings are dual. One native, one English. Maybe my thoughts are dual too, one native, one English. Maybe I am in two parts, and I can never be whole until I let go of one of my identities. Maybe America is 500,000 immigrants, but 1 million identities. Maybe I am a Disney, lost in translation. A Disney displayed in 2 different countries, and 2 different countries know different versions of me. You don't get the best of both worlds when your one world rules other, when your one world drags along with another. Sometimes where you were born is not where you belong. When the syllables rolling off your tongue get tangled, be brave, Be brave and shoot the bear behind you. And then wish with all your heart. If you get one last prayer, God, make it languageless. Make it meanings without words or worth. Because somewhere in La La Land, Emma Stone will come and say, oh, I had an aunt who lived in Paris and I remember how she used to come home and she used to tell us, and it will always be relevant what her aunt told her. And they'll gift her laurels with golden plated silvers and ladies who will look like they're already defending themselves. You know, maybe 50 years later, when our kids will ask us, Mom, how do white people make themselves look so big we all look small? And we'll tell them, kid, first you burn the whole world down. First you burn the whole world down, bring them to your knees. And then pretend to put out the flames. Make fire extinguishing your profession. And they'll call you a prince. And they'll never even remember who lit the fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Savani.
While I speak these words, somewhere a girl's clothes are being torn. Her body is being distorted. She is being treated like a rag doll. When we talk about Rape by Akanksha Sinha and Purvika Mehra, a poem presented by Vamakshi Chauhan and Ritika Khakkar that asserts on how a survivor of sexual assault deals not only with physical pain, but also with mental trauma. Presenting before you a power-packed performance. Vamakshi and Ritika.
When we talk about rape.
When we talk about
Rape. We're talking about confidence.
At the age of 11,
12.
when my mother first told me that boys would want to touch me,
Would want to put their hands between my thighs.
or lay them across my breasts, I was confident that
She was wrong. Girls and boys play football together.
Girls and boys like each other.
And make code name.
And giggle. Why would anyone try to
Anyone want to.
touch me like that?
Me, especially. I giggled awkwardly and ran from the room. The first chance I could get to plunge myself back into innocence.
Innocence. When I later began to understand what rape meant and the kind of strength it took to fight it, I was confident that I was strong enough, proud of my muscles than girls were supposed to be, and trained enough to occasionally win in martial art fights against girls my own age and size. I was sure that
Who what me, I had the power to defend myself. And I was confident that no one, no tall, heavy stranger could ever touch me the way I didn't want to be touched. When I was first taught the importance of the word no, I was confident that I would never have to use it. And even if I did, somehow the power in that syllable seemed to be incomprehensible. I was convinced of its invincibility, pictured myself uttering that word in every danger, falling away in fear of it. Consent, they said,
was what mattered, and it seemed like if I did not give it, no one would dare to lay a hand on me. I stood in front of the mirror, repeating, no, and feeling power reverberate in my bones, confident that I was loud enough to be heard.
And finally someday,
when my breasts were fuller and hips wider,
and my lips were unchapped, and my waist was small enough to be held encircled by two firm clasping hands, I found that he had the confidence to take what he wanted,
to view my body as his right,
confident that I wanted it,
that I liked
that
it,
I craved for the touch
of his skin on my,
between my thighs,
on my breast,
confident that if my no was soft, it was a yes. When I talk about rape, I talk about my loss of confidence. My loss of confidence in my body, in my mind, in the power of my voice and my words.
When I talk about rape, I talk about our girls to speak
And our boys to listen.
I talk about the confidence we put in our friends.
To stay friends. I talk about the confidence we put in our bodies to be bodies, not objects. And our love to be returned as love.
Not pain.
As love.
Not shame.
As love. Not sex.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vamakshi and Ritika.
With this, we come to the end of this event. I take the opportunity to thank our music performers for today, Swara Oza, Om Mehta, and Devashi Vyas. Drive my dead thoughts over the universe like withered leaves to quicken a new birth. And by the incantation of this verse, scatter, as from an unextinguished hearth, ashes and sparks, my words among mankind, be through my lips to awakened earth the trumpet of a prophecy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all to have graced our efforts with your valuable presence. Please rise for the national anthem.
I think before we have the national anthem, can we please have all the contestants on stage once? Everybody, please come on stage. Thank you, parents and staff members, for being here. This is a first for all of us. Recitations happen all over TGES, and most of the times they are competitions. They are driven by the format and the medals. Today's event is solely driven by ideas and thoughts and a love for the ideas that they wanted to put out here. So let's have a loud standing ovation for all of them. Thank you.
Assembly Savdhan. Assembly Vishram. Thank you everyone and good night.
We have one more show on Monday with another group of students. You are more than welcome to come for that as well. Thank you.